Okay, so one of the most important things when it comes to your book covers is colors. The way that you pick your colors. Do your colors match? Do they stand out? Do they work well together? And now let's take a look at some best sellers on Amazon. All the books I'm going to show you now, they're all selling at least 70 to 100 copies a day. So these are all best-selling book covers. Now this cover decided to use white, blue, and yellow. That's all I see. I'm going to count this gray thing as white because it's very, very close to the colors that it picked. Now we can clearly see that the designer used a blue background and decided to go with yellow text. Now why did they pick blue and yellow? That's because blue and yellow works very, very well together. Now if we go on the Canva color wheel, we can actually pick our background color and then it's going to give us suggestions on which color we can use for our fonts, for our book title, or for our subtitle. So let's just pick the exact color that the author uses. We go here, then I can just copy this code. This is the code for this color. If you put this code anywhere else, whether it's on a website, on a book design, on a poster, anything, no matter where you put it, if you use this code, it's always going to be the same color because this code represents the color. So we take that code and we put it in Canva color wheel. And you can see it picked this blue that the author used for the background. This is the same blue as here. Now, why did it not give us yellow? Because here you can actually select your combination. So the complementary means what color works well together with this. Monochromatic gives you a shade of that color or a tint of that color or just another color that's the same as the color you pick but slightly different in order for it to work well together. So here it just gave us a lighter blue. If we go to analogous, or I don't even know how to pronounce that, it gives us two colors that are in the same color group in a way. It gives us three different types of blues. This one is going more towards green, but it's still part of the blue group. If we go triadic, it will give us three colors that work well together, and then tetratic is going to give us four colors that work well together. Now, if you go on complementary, it's always going to be yellow. Blue always works very well with yellow. Now, the reason we get brown is because brown is basically yellow and orange mixed together. And you can see here on the color wheel, they're very close together. So if we move this to a lighter blue, it will give us a lighter brown or a lighter orange, which is basically yellow. Can you see? One side goes to blue, it goes to yellow. Now, the darker the blue, the darker the yellow. So it works well together. So if we go here, we can pick blue and yellow. Blue and yellow work well together. That's why this author did it. Now, white and black works with everything. But like we said in the contrast video, which I'm going to show you later on, if you have a dark background, you want white text. If you have a light background, you want dark text. I'm going to show you that in a later video. But for now, let's stick with colors. So this author picked the blue background and they knew that yellow works well together. This is the color combination that a lot of authors use, like this one. This is another bestseller. You can see they picked a dark blue background and again, they use the yellow text. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but this circle thing right here is black, is dark, which is why they used a lighter yellow text and not the darker blue, because the darker blue would be hard to see. But you can see how this author used blue as the background and yellow as a text. It's a very, very famous color combination. Now, let's look at some other colors. This is a coloring book and it used a bunch of different color combinations. Now, why did it pick pink, yellow, and this turquoise blue? Why did it pick that? Well, if we can pick this color here, we can go copy the code and then let's see what Canva color wheel gives us. Now, we need three colors. So it's not going to be complementary because I give you two colors. Monochromatic is going to give us the same colors, just in different tints and shades. Same for this one, can't pronounce it. Now, triadic is going to give us three colors. And tetradic, I don't know how to pronounce that either, will give you four colors. Since we're looking for three colors, we're going to go for triadic. Now, if we paste our color here, it's going to give us a bunch of colors to work with. So it gave us purple and yellow. And if you go over here, what are they using? They're using yellow and a lighter purple, which is pink. So if I start moving this to a slightly lighter one, you can see these are the three colors that Canva color wheel gives us, because Canva knows that this color works well with this and this color, which are the colors that the author picked as well. And you see they picked the blue, yellow, and the pink. And here you have the blue, yellow, and the pink, or in this case, purple. Now, if we were to go more of a pinkish color, you can see the same colors apply. It's just lighter and darker. So you don't have to be exact, but Canva gives you a bunch of colors that work well together. Now, this is a Valentine's Day book, and you can see they pick pink because obviously it's Valentine's. Pink works well for Valentine's Day book, but they also pick yellow is a popular color. You can see there's a tiny bit of yellow. So like we said about the 60-30-10 rule, 60% of your book cover needs to be one color, 30% needs to be the other color, and then 10% needs to be a very small section that takes up that color. So this book cover uses a little bit of pink, or a lot of pink, but a little bit of yellow. So a lot of pink, a little bit of yellow, and a tiny bit of blue. Can you see this blue here? Obviously it uses brown and all of that, but they're just small parts of the cover, so they don't take up much color. But this blue main image here takes up a nice chunk of the cover. I would say blue is 10%, yellow is 30%, and then pink is obviously 60%. So we know that pink works well with yellow and blue, and which is why they pick pink, almost reddish. As long as the colors are close, then they work well together. Now, if we went here and we went pink, green, and yellow, it probably wouldn't look that good. Obviously, you can adjust some things to try and make it look good, but this is design principles for colors. So the color wheel is the easiest easiest way to actually see what colors work well together. And sometimes you can even make a bunch of variations of different colors. So you can try one where it's like this, or a monochromatic one, or the complementary one. You can pick whichever one you want. So let's look at another cover. What are they doing? This is the same thing, pink, blue. Can you see this one? They picked the pink, red. You see pink, red, and blue. And they used yellow. It looks like this one. Oh, there we go. They used a little bit of yellow for Dr. Zeus. Let's look at another color. Perfect. This is a very good color. So what colors stand out to you in this color? You probably said orange and then maybe white and blue. That's the colors I can see on the cover. So if we copy the color code for this Chinese cookbook, let's see what it gives us. So it looks like there's yellow, white, orange, and a blue from the bowl. White, we won't count white, but I want to say orange, yellow, and blue. And that orange is almost a little bit brown. But let's copy the code, put it on Canva color wheel, and see what Canva gives us. There we go. So it gave us blue. Complementary is orange and blue. And it's not a coincidence that they picked a blue bowl to show off. Now, what if we want even more colors? Let's see what other things it gives us. Green, blue, and purple. Now, obviously, there are more colors to the color, which is fine. But the Canva color wheel is going to help you pick your main colors. So this one, yellow is close to orange. It's right next to it. Yellow is almost like a brighter version of orange, like we talked about before in the previous cover. So yellow and orange, you might count them as the same color group. But blue is completely different from orange, which is why they picked blue, because blue works well with orange. And also it stands out a lot, especially on this cover. So feel free to go on the Canva color wheel. If you have a color in mind, you can just pick your background color that you think you're going to use. Let's say green. And then Canva tells you if you're going to do a green background, you can try purple text, or you can try a purple main image, or you can have something purple. Maybe you can have a purple badge. If you go on monochromatic, you can have these two shades of green. They will work together. So here's an example of a monochromatic book cover. And you see how everything is basically just a shade of blue. So the background here has some blue. Then the mountains are a lighter shade of blue. The shadows on the mountains are a darker shade of blue. The roof is an even darker shade of blue. The house is a different shade of blue. You see, they're all just shades of blue to create different shapes and elements in the cover. And they use a tiny bit of yellow and orange, which are the complementary colors. Like I said, yellow is just a brighter version of orange, which is why they picked it again with the blue. And before, the two covers that I showed you was blue with yellow text, because everyone likes blue and yellow. And because yellow and orange are the same color, they're basically having a monochromatic, but they also used a tiny bit of yellow and orange. Look at how little yellow and orange take up the cover. They used a tiny bit just to make it a tiny bit nice. So this is a very good example of a monochromatic book cover. If you're new to design, then experimenting will give you a bunch of knowledge. Some people learn from doing, other people learn from watching. But what I would recommend you is to go experiment, try and see what colors you think look well. Try and look at the colors that Canva suggests for you. Try a bunch of different colors. Try a monochromatic one. Try one with a complementary combination. Try one with 4 different colors. See how it looks. Just make sure you apply a percentage to each color. So if you're going to try this, it will look better if this takes up 40%, 30%, 20%, and then I can't do the math right now, so whatever's left. So I hope this video was helpful, and we'll see you in the next one.